Hi you guys, it's Julia Creations and I'm officially back with another video. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm about to get yelled at in the comments, and you know what? No, because the last video you guys weren't engaging with it like that. So no, I'm not about to allow you guys to yell at me in the comments unless you yell at me for engage with the last video. But anywho, you guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here or returning, my name is Julia Creations. I'm a financial coach that teaches you how to get your finances on track, pay off debt, and live your financially freedom life. Oh my gosh, you guys, so I know I have been gone and I've been missing in action. I missed 2 video uploads, but I promise it is going to get better. I'm going to be posting more. I had to celebrate launching our new planner that sold out, our limited edition planner, which I was so excited about, and I had to celebrate that. So we celebrated that, and now I'm officially back. And I want to start up this video by congratulating one of my clients who I just did our 3-month follow-up, and he's doing amazing. I'm going to upload that video in this video just because I need to shine a light on that. That is so amazing. I'm so proud of him, and this can be literally you in the next 3 months coming into this new year if you go ahead and book your private session consultations. So make sure you guys go ahead and book those so you can start reaching your financial goals and having these crazy stories to tell about how much you saved and all your goals, reaching your goals, okay? Meeting who you guys, we're gonna be jumping straight into this budget. I'm so excited about that. This budget is going to be about paying off or just how to still budget around these holiday times where you might slip up and you just want to make sure you're still reaching your goal. My goal for all my clients this upcoming year by February is for you guys to at least have $1,000 in your sinking funds for emergencies, at least $1,000 emergency dollar savings if possible. So we're going to be talking about this, doing an actual client's budget of their budget, their expenses, setting up how we're going to try to incorporate their $1,000 savings goal while still paying off debt, while still holiday shopping and all of that good stuff. We're going to get straight into it. Let's start it off. How much did we save since September?
$3,656 and 78 cents.
Oh my gosh. And
started with you, I had $0 in my savings.
Oh my god. So the first thing we're gonna go ahead and do is set up our calendar just like we always do, you guys. So this calendar, I'm going to be starting December budgets just because we're gonna be pulling into December coming up here very shortly. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill in our calendar. So weird that December starts on the 1st. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and set up our calendar, write in all of our dates in here, and then I'm going to be right back. I'm going to go ahead and write in all of our bills and expenses and the due dates on those, and we will be right back. So now that we went ahead and wrote down all of our paydays, this is a weekly budget, and all of our expenses, we're going to go ahead and set up our monthly budget. I'm sorry, I meant to say this is a weekly pay. But we're going to go ahead and set up our monthly budget by establishing what our goal is for the month, and then we're going to write in our expenses monthly. So this is going to be for the month of December. Our budget goal is to save $1,000. We want to save $1K and Xmas shop. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and write down our sources of income. We have one source of income, which is going to be a weekly pay. Our weekly pay is going to be $650 times 4, and that is after tax. 650 times 4 is going to be $2,600 for the month is what we're bringing in. So we got an income of $2,600. Alright, so these are going to be all our bills that are usually the same each month. So now we're going to go ahead and add in our variables. So for our credit cards, we're going to total that into one category. We're going to put credit cards over here. I'm going to add up the credit cards, and then I'm going to put how much we're going to put for gas, groceries, and all of that other good stuff. So let's go. Alright, you guys, perfect. We officially wrote down all of our bills and expenses. So as you can see in our variable side, that's where we're going to add our holiday gifting. So think about how many people you want to buy gifts for and what your budget is for each person. We're going to do $200 for gifts this month, or $250 for gifts, and we're going to break that down into our paychecks, which is going to be the best way to make sure you're handling your gift needs without going over your budget. So now we're going to go ahead and add up our expenses. So we have rent for $800, phone bill for $65, Wi-Fi for $65, car insurance for $113, car payment for $250, and utilities for $130. That is going to bring our fixed expenses to $1,423. Alright, now we're going to add up our variables. 193 plus 160 plus 200 plus 16 plus 65 plus 200. That is going to bring our expenses to $834. So $834 plus 1423 is going to bring our expense total to $2257 for the month. Alright, now we want to figure out how much money we have left over. So our full income is $2,600 minus $2257. $2,600 minus $2257 is going to give us $343 left over after bills and expenses. So we have a cash surplus, which is pretty nice. Our goal is to save $1,000, so we do have something to work with. So I'm just going to go ahead and highlight this, our cash surplus, as $343. This is all our expenses here. So perfect. Now we're going to go ahead and break down our budget into our paycheck breakdown. So how much are we spending per week within our budget? So let's go ahead and set up our weeks of. Alright, you guys, so now that we set up our weeks of, let's go ahead and break it down, and we're going to section everything off by our paychecks. And of course, I'm going to be using my highlighters. So what I'm going to do is we're going to section off this part, because this part is going to be paid with last month's check. So the last check of November would have covered these expenses. Let's say I have November covered. Now we're going to go ahead and go to our other weeks of. So our first paycheck of December is going to be December 6th. So we're going to put the payday of 12/6, which is going to be $650 is our income that we're bringing in. So we're bringing in $650 this week. And let's look at our expenses that are going to be coming out. So it looks like we have our phone bill and our Wi-Fi bill coming out. So we're for sure going to be covering that with this check. So let's go ahead and section this off. We're going to use a different color highlighter. So our payday that falls on the 6th. Payday of the 6th. I'm trying to use this side because this is where more of the glitter is, you guys. Sometimes the glitter is on the opposite writing side. So you're probably not going to see it in the camera, but these are our glitter highlighters. Alright, so we have $650 coming in. And then we have our phone bill coming out for $65. So phone bill for $65 will be in our fixed side. We're going to write down all of our bills coming out. So we have phone, which is going to be $65. Alright, and then we have our Wi-Fi, which is going to be $65 as well. So Wi-Fi $65. Alright, so those are our main bills that are for sure going to be coming out this week. Let's see if it's ideal to get ahead on anything. So our car payment usually takes up at least a good amount of our check, and we have our utilities coming up, so that's about half of our check. So why don't we go ahead and split our car payment into 2 payments. So we're going to use half of this check and half of this check to cover our car payment. So that way when our car payment comes out, it's not our car payment, utilities, and so much more going on at once. Because within this budget, we do have our next payday on the 3rd of the month. We'll have to use 2 paychecks to cover our rent. So we're going to be having to split rent between usually the 2 last checks of the month or this one. Usually you have the 3rd day to pay off rent before it's late. But of course, I think moving these will be the best way. So maybe what we'll do with this paycheck, we'll pay our car payment ahead with this check. We'll do our car insurance, our credit card ahead with that check maybe instead. I'm thinking we'll do that instead. So let's not worry about, you know what we're going to do? We're going to cover our car insurance in advance. We'll pay the car insurance in advance and use this check to cover the car payment so we could be ahead. The quicker we split the rent, honestly, the better. So I just rather do it that way. Oh, I hope you guys can see everything. Sorry, you guys. I didn't realize how my camera looked so, it looks so dark. Like, I feel like you guys can't see that well. But, so that's our metallic highlighter. So it's pretty pigmented. I promise it looks better in person. I don't know why the camera is picking it up that way. So we're going to go ahead and pay our car insurance in advance here. So let's go ahead and add our car insurance to this pay period. I'm going to go ahead and do car insurance for $113. This way we're just not overwhelmed with our checks. All right, so we have gas, which is $160 per month. $160 divided by 4. If we're filling up our gas weekly, is going to be $40 per week for gas in our variable section. All right, so we're going to do gas for $40 per week. Groceries is $200 per month. 200 divided by 4 is going to be $50. So groceries, which is going to be $50. All right. And then subscriptions. Oh, I forgot to add the subscriptions on here, but the subscriptions come out on the 10th. So I'll go ahead and put subscriptions for $16. Go ahead and add our subscriptions and our totals. So subscriptions for $16 will also fall this week. So subs for $16. All right, and then self-care is $65 for the month, getting our nails done. So we'll go ahead and do self-care over here. Just get it done at the beginning of the month for $65. And then Xmas shopping, we're going to do $50 per week for that. All right, let's go ahead and see what we total to moving forward here. Cell phone 65, Wi-Fi 65, car insurance to 113. So right off the bat, our fixed total to 243, and we're already ahead on a bill. So then we have gas for 40, groceries for 50, subscriptions for 16, self-care for 65, and Xmas for 50. That's gonna put us at 221 here. 221 plus 243 brings our expense total to the week to 464. All right, so we want to figure out how much money goes in our savings. We're gonna go ahead and take this 650 and we're gonna minus it from 464. 650 minus 464 is going to be 186 in our savings. Boom, 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 boom. And just like that, we're done with our first week of the month, and we were able to put 186 in our savings and prioritize getting some of our holiday shopping done. All right, there goes that part. Let's go to our next week of the month. All right, guys, so now we're going to go into our payday of the 13th. This is our next following paycheck. So let's go ahead and cross and highlight that section off. So we got our payday of the 13th coming up. Payday 13th. And this is everything that we need to cover into that time frame. So let's go ahead and set that payday up. So payday of 12/13, we're going to be bringing in $650. All right, so the only thing we have due this week is mainly our credit card for $50 since we paid our other stuff up front. So we're going to go ahead and put our credit card for $50 here. That credit card, which is going to be credit card number 2, right? The other credit card was due in November. We used November's check to pay that one. So credit card number 2 for $50, and then we're going to go ahead and pay our car payment in advance because we're going to use half of this check to cover rent. I'm going to go ahead and do car payment and just put the money aside for that. We're going to go ahead and do our car payment, which is going to be $250 there. All right, car payment for $250 we paid in advance. All right, and then let's see here. So we're at basically $300 of this check, and then we're gonna go ahead and do our stuff that repeats again. So we have gas again here for 40, groceries, which are going to be 50. Then we have Xmas for 50 because we don't have self-care that week. We already used our self-care budget. All right, we got gas, groceries, and those are the only things that are gonna repeat. So let's go ahead and I'm thinking if we should pay the utilities up ahead. So next week we're gonna have, what is our variable side for the next week? 50 plus 40 plus 50 plus 50. So 190 is going to be our variables for the next week. So if we have a 650 check coming in with the utilities for 130, so it's 320 plus our 400 that we're going to split for the rent with this check. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and pay our utilities ahead as well, just so that's out the way and we're not going to have too much going on our next check. So under utilities ahead for 130. All right, so let's go ahead and highlight the utilities. This is the color, that's not the color I was using. I must have messed up my color theme I had going on over here. All right, utilities for 130. Let's go ahead and add us up now. 250 plus 130 is going to put us at 380 for our fixed bills for this week. Now let's go ahead and add up our variables. 50 plus 40 plus 50 plus 50 is going to be 190. And that's my favorite thing about these templates. You can move things around, so whatever works easier for you. Move your pay periods around, pay things off earlier, or maybe move things so you're not as stressed. So our expenses this week only total to $570. So I'm going to go ahead and take $650 and minus it from $570, which is going to give us $80 in our savings this week. That's still a pretty good week. Good to go there. Highlight that. $80 in our savings. Woots, woots, woots. All right, you guys, so now we're going to go to the next week. We're down to our last 2 pink highlighters. Let me use this one. All right, so we'll go ahead and use this one, and we're going to start with the payday of the 20th to basically the 27th. Sorry, you guys, these are still pretty close in color, so hopefully you can differentiate the two. So this is going to be the payday of the 20th. Which I'm going to be bringing in $650. And we don't have any bills coming out because we paid everything in advance. So now what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to pay our rent up forward. Our rent is $100 per month. So we're going to go ahead and split that rent into 2 payments, which is going to be $400. All right, so our fix is just going to be $400. And then we're going to go ahead and do our bills. I repeat again. So we got gas for $40 because that's weekly. Groceries, which is going to be $50 weekly. Then we have Xmas, which is going to be $50 weekly as well. So just like that, we paid stuff ahead so we can feel more comfortable with our budget. So now we're going to go ahead and add this up. $400 for our rent. Oopsie. $40 for gas. Groceries for $50. Xmas for $50. We're going to be at $140 this week. $140 plus $400 puts us at $540. Oopsie. $540. We're going to go ahead and take our $650 and minus it from our $540. All right. $650 minus $540 is going to give us $110 to go in our savings. $110 in savings. So not only are we building up our savings, we're also getting things taken care of at the same time and handling business within our budget. So we already saved $186, $80 plus $110 so far within our budget. So we're doing pretty good. Now let's go to the last week of our budget. All right, you guys, so the last week of our budget is going to be the payday of the 27th, and we have to cover everything basically to the 3rd of the month. All right. So right off the bat here, we're going to go ahead. Our credit card is due on the 2nd, so we're going to put the money for the credit card, which is $143. We honestly should have paid the credit card up front. I wasn't thinking we might have to pull some of that to pay the credit card. I think we'll be fine. Let's see. So we have our payday of the 27th. Payday of 12/27, which is going to be bringing in $650. All right, you guys, so for this week we're going to pay off the other half of our rent. So our rent's already paid in advance. I'm going to go ahead and section off our rent for $400. And then we have our credit card minimum, which is going to be $143 that we have to pay. And then we're also going to go ahead and put gas again for $40. Groceries for $50. So for our holiday spending, we're actually going to pull an additional $50 from this check. I don't know why my brain wasn't thinking, because we have our credit card coming up and this check will be done with the holidays. So we're going to go ahead and pull that other $50 from the other side. So $400 is going to be for our fixed. Then we have $143 for our credit card. $143 plus $40 plus $50. is going to be $233 because this week's a little tighter. $233 plus 400 will be $633 for our expenses here. So we're gonna go ahead and take $650 and minus it from $633. $650 minus $633 is going to be $17 in our savings. So let's say we wind up actually spending less on holiday gifts. That would be better, but it would help our budget better for sure. But I'm going to keep it how I have it. But if we needed that additional $50 to get the full $200 for the month for gifts, we would pull it from this week because we weren't supposed to be, we're supposed to have an additional $50 for gifts because it's in our budget. So what we're going to go ahead and do, if you want to adjust it, you can, you guys, but I'm just going to say we wind up spending $150 on gifts instead of the full $200 because that could happen. So I'm going to section it off like that. And on this budget, we're not going to focus on the debt. We're going to focus on just how to set up our budget to get gifts and stuff. So this budget, once we're done, we're still going to be paying our minimums on our credit cards. And there still will be a debt payoff plan for this budget, but we're just going to prioritize our savings in this example and how we're going to be okay for holiday spending. So that was the goal of this budget, to show you guys how you can still reach your goals while doing your holiday spending. Our goal is to save $1,000 and Xmas shop. We're not focused as much on the debt, even though paying off debt potentially would help us, but those credit cards have pretty high balances, so it's going to take a minute. So 186 plus 80 plus 110 plus 17 we would have basically saved $393 this month would have went in our savings. So we're going to go ahead in our savings category and we're going to write $393. So if we wind up being able to maybe spend a little bit less on gifts, we should be able to save more, thinking about what we're going to get the people we're buying gifts for. So this is going to be for the month of December. Our starting balance will be $393 and our goal is to get to $1,000. So it'll take us about to February to potentially get to our goal. 1,000 divided by 393. Yeah, we're looking at about 2.5 months to reach our goal, which isn't bad at all if we stick to this budget. Keep in mind, guys, the gifts isn't always going to be on the budget again, so it's just for this month of December. So once this month's over, we can add that $200 back into our cash surplus, which our starting balance would be about $593 per month. We just want to make sure we reach our emergency savings goal. Perfect. All right, you guys, I hope this budget was helpful and helped you think about how you're going to be planning your gift and holiday shopping. Let me know in the comments what your goal is. I challenge all my budget babes to try to get $1,000 by February in your savings, just so you have an emergency savings. I was thinking about how many people don't have an average emergency savings of at least $1,000, so I challenge all my clients to try to get $1,000 in their emergency savings. So set up your budget to a point where you can do that, even if it's putting up $200 a month for the next 5 months or whatever the case may be. I want you to figure out which way you can do it to reach your goal. That's my challenge for my clients or my subscribers in the comments. I want you to let me know if you're going to try the challenge out. And this is as simple as it is. Start thinking about this for your December budget. Think about the gifts you're going to get. Think about all of that good stuff. And of course, all of our products can be found at juliacreations.com. And because you guys are the YT family, you guys do have a discount code YTFAM15 for 15% off any products you may like to gift your friends and families for the holiday, depending on your budget for holiday gifts. So make sure you guys are going to get them these budget planners, these tools. It's going to help them for the New Year's reach their financial goals. All right. Thank you guys again for watching. Bye-bye.